Andy Stevenson for SevereMMA, and I'm joined by Adam Shelley, ahead of Cage Warriors Dublin, who's not fighting on the cards this time, but you're coming off a great win over in Manchester recently. How happy were you with that win?
Yeah, very happy with the win, Andy. That extends me to a 3-fight winning streak now, and just pushes me further and further up the lightweight division, getting me to where I want to be, to that belt.
Absolutely. You know, coming off a couple of, as you said, a few great wins now, so it seems you've got great momentum behind you at the moment. What's clicking?
I think it's a few things. You know yourself, it's never just one thing that contributes. It's a whole package. It's stuff outside the cage, inside the cage, in the training room, just my whole lifestyle. Seems to be ticking boxes, and yeah, I'm just I'm enjoying preparation for the fights. I'm enjoying fight week, enjoying the fight itself. And you know yourself, happy fighter is a dangerous fighter, isn't it? Absolutely.
And look, it was a dominant win, 2 30-27s and a 30-25. You were saying just before we started recording there, you were a little bit unhappy not to get the finish, but overall I'd say it was job well done.
Yeah, look, like anybody, I'm sure everyone's the same, and the way we are in this gym, Chris is always coaching us to go for the finish and to get the finish. So to not get it, it's a bit of a disappointment. But so initially after the fight, I was disappointed, speaking to the lads and stuff, but I'm watching it back and speaking to them, like, I am happy with the performance. But of course I did pick out areas where I could have pressed a little bit harder and gotten it. So look, I'll just enforce them into my training and correct that for my next one.
Was there any hairdryer treatment from Chris, or what was his thoughts on it?
Yeah, there always is. So like, you know, me and Chris will have a game plan going into the fight, and it was very much what you saw in the fight was the game plan. So then, and this is why I think me and Chris get on really well, like, you know, always expecting more. So like when Chris recognised that the game plan was going really well, I recognised it too. So he wasn't just happy for me to coast to a decision, he wanted me to push for that finish. So yeah, he did give me the hairdryer treatment, and I'm glad he did. And like I said, I'll correct it in the next one.
Something to work on for the next one.
100%. You know, if you come out of there thinking you have it all boxed off just off a win, look, you're sadly mistaken, aren't you? Like, you know, especially I see myself getting to UFC level, so I need to be putting in dominant performances here.
Yeah, we're obviously used to seeing you typically with Ryan and the rest of the team. You were by yourself this time. What was the decision behind that? I remember being, you know, in Dublin earlier this year in 3 Arena, you had a great performance, a great win. It didn't go Ryan's way, and I do, like, we crossed paths as you were kind of leaving the cage, and look, you're watching your brother after taking a loss and a tough loss like that. Was that part of the decision making to not fight in the same card, or?
No, so originally when me and Ryan first started fighting, in my head I would have thought it was best to stay off the cards together. But then it just so happened there that, like, so I'm after having 7 pro fights now. My first 6, me and Ryan have shared the card together. I've won with him on the card, I've lost with him on the card. It's one of them things, I think it's a much of a muchness really. We've gotten used to dealing with it. The decision behind that was, so I fought in April in Dublin, and they were originally planning the Dublin show to be in November, if you remember.
Okay.
And then that ended up getting brought forward to October. So when I was looking at the calendar, I was sort of looking at it thinking, if I fight in that Dublin show in October, that might be the only fight I get for the rest of the year, which would have only left me with 2 fights in 2023, which didn't really sit too well with me. So I said to Chris, look, could we maybe push to get on the Manchester card in September, and then look to get on Newcastle or one of them other ones in November. So as of now, my body is fresh. We're 7 weeks out from the Newcastle show, and I would like to hear something maybe in the next week or whatever about that.
And you have a name, you've been kind of calling on social media for a fight, so who are you looking for?
Yeah, I called for Adam Cullen. It seemed like it made sense. Adam seems to want to get on that card. I want to get on the card. I'm on a 3-fight win streak. Adam's back in the win column there. He's a good guy. I want to fight the best guys in Cage Warriors, so it made perfect sense to me. He responded. It seems like it makes sense to him. So we just need Ian Dean to send over.
Just because he's called Adam, or?
Yes, well, maybe a bit of that going on too, along with everything else. So yeah, just get Ian to send over them contracts now, and we're good to go.
Yeah, I mean, I think that'd be a brilliant fight, and as you said, it seems that both of you are interested in it. So, like, you know, the 155 division, and I'm going to be chatting to Leon here after, obviously he's 155 as well. It's changed a lot. It went from kind of only a couple of months ago being in a state of flux where the champion had left and gone to the UFC, or, you know, to the Contender Series. Now it seems there's loads of names. There's George Hardwick's obviously back. Paul Hughes has gone up to 155. Mason Jones, former double champion in Cage Warriors, is back. Where do you see yourself fitting in the division?
I suppose with a win over Adam in Newcastle would seriously put me into talks. Like I'm 5-2 now, 3-fight win streak. I know I'm not around title contention just yet. I need to do more. So maybe a win over Adam Cullen, and then maybe one more against the big name could put me in title contention. Trying not to think about that too much. I just want to test myself against the best names, and then when Cage Warriors or Chris see fit for me to fight for a title, that's when I'll take it. But for now, just give me the best guys, let me test myself, and that'll sort of motivate me to train harder and get me to the level I know I can be.
Yeah. How old are you now?
29.
29. Okay, so still young.
So still have time, but like, you know, I want to get to the UFC, and I would like next year to be the year that I get there. So that's where I'm like, right, start putting me in with some of the top contenders of the lightweight division.
But so do you, like, I spoke to Leon before his last fight, and he was saying that he would preferably get the Cage Warriors title first because of, like, I suppose, the Team Kef tradition in Cage Warriors. Do you think a similar way, or like what are your main goals? Like,
again, that's Andy, to be honest, it's not something I've thought about too much. Like, if the belt presented itself and the opportunity, of course I'd love to fight on it. And as Leon referred to, maybe with you, like, you know, Chris has had it, Col has had it, James has had it. It's a cool thing to have, of course. But look, if the UFC ever, like next year, whatever position I was in, if the UFC came calling before I had the belt, I would absolutely grab it with both hands.
And would you, like, it seems they seem to be trying to funnel everyone through the Contender Series, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Is that an option that you consider?
And again, that would have been something before. I couldn't remember my reasoning for it, but I would have been thinking, no, that didn't really interest me. But now it seems to be that they want people going that way. So if I found myself maybe with another 2 wins, and I got an offer on the Contender Series for next, it starts around the end of July, isn't it? Yeah. I'd jump on that too. I'd love it. Yeah.
Obviously, Dublin coming up. There's going to be a huge night in the RDS this Saturday. How's Ryan looking? He's coming off a loss. He's coming off a stoppage loss. I thought he looked great in that Herrera fight up until I don't know when. I don't know. Maybe you can kind of shed some light on it, but it seemed like there was a shot at the end of the second that kind of maybe, I don't know, a bit of an impact, and then obviously the third, Herrera got the finish. Yeah,
so like that, very tough loss. Ryan took a little bit of time after that, chilled out, got some stuff sorted physically that he needed to, just injury-wise. And then, like, look, I know everyone would say this, but I'm genuinely not just saying it, he's looking shit hot. He's really looking good. Mentally, he's in a good space. Physically, he's in a good space. He's corrected a few things, even that he would have needed to correct before the fight, just some weak areas we would have identified, myself, Chris and Ryan. He seems to have addressed them. So I think you're going to see a really strong and relentless version of Ryan next week. Likewise with the other two boys. It's actually been good because I got to fight last week. I've got to watch a good few of the sparring sessions this week. Yeah. And they're popping. They're popping. The lads are popping.
Are you able to, because you're not fighting on the card, are you able to kind of enjoy it, or when your brother's fighting and your teammates are fighting, and you're probably going to be cornering, I would assume, as well?
Yeah, so
can you even enjoy it despite not fighting?
Like, I've been saying that to people, and well, people have been saying to me, oh, it's going to be great, you're going to get to sit back and enjoy the card. But like that, I'm not going to be sitting in the stands. I'm going to be out the back. I'm going to be cornering Ryan as far as I know, and I'm probably going to be taking a hiding off Taka and Leon out the back too. So there won't be much enjoyment, but I look forward to helping out the lads in any way I can, because they've done it for me in the training room and in shows. So whatever they need on fight night or fight day, or even this week, I'm going to be there for them and just provide whatever I can.
Fair enough. Well, look, last question. I need an updated standings from you. You were talking yourself, Ryan, Taka. Who's the best grappler?
It's still going on.
I mean, you brought it up. So, what's the rankings right now?
I don't know. I'd like to say I'm after pushing ahead. See, training room antics don't really count, do they? Because there's no evidence.
Excuses are coming
out. There's no
now.
evidence. I'm going to say Ryan's on top, me and Taka are joint.
Okay.
That's what I'll say. I'll be diplomatic about it and cause no rows. Give the lads some confidence for next week as well.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Well, look, I appreciate the time, Adam.
Thanks, Andy.
I hope you get to fight in, I'd love to see Cullen versus Shelley, or, you know, getting a fight in general on that Newcastle show. So hopefully we see you again before the end of the year.
Likewise.
See you next week.
See you next week,
in the RDS, and I appreciate the time.
Thanks.